Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with another live. Man, I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope y'all had a great day overall, man. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to currently discuss Errol Spence versus Sebastian Fundora officially being canceled, reporting. According to reports, you feel what I'm saying? We're going to talk about Terence Crawford distance Sebastian Fundora. Should Spence retire? And then we just going to get into a whole bunch of open boxing topics. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. If y'all can hit that like button as soon as y'all come in, that'll be very much appreciated, man. I got some great news. You feel what I'm saying? We have officially passed the 2,500 mark, man. So shout out to the nation and the mob for making this shit possible. You know what I mean? It's been a long time coming. We are officially at the mid 3K mark. You feel what I'm saying, man? Shout out to everybody that's been contributing to the channel. Shout out to everybody that believes in the channel, giving the channel a chance. You know what I mean? You know, I gotta show love. I gotta show love, man. We gotta celebrate. You feel what I'm saying? So let's get this shit popping.
Let that shit ride, 88. These folks got to hear this shit, Saucy.
I can't fall into no trap. Please don't ask me for no hangout on the text, won't answer back. I work hard to be on top, dodging the fall like my ex. I wake up in different places, different cars, get different sex. Really don't play about this shit no more. Fuck what they doing, we ain't losing. I just changed the closet, up the trip, got super stupid. Really booming, I just laugh when they think I make this on music. Hated on me the whole time, congratulate me like they know it. Boys around me had the way out, had to get it on my own. Niggas ain't give me shit, no food up in my plate, not even a bone. See that you jealous, I don't want you close. If you telling a bitch, we know you a hoe. They say that they die for you, promise they won't. Them niggas ain't down, them niggas ain't low. Soon as you fall, them boys gon' go. Respect for your bitch, they gon' take where you go. I only stick down for me and I go for me, cause it's only when they wanna show. Come out when they be mad, I know they be hating. Only worry about the business they pay me. Money for when I'm sleeping. I gotta get to the check, secure the bag. Fuck it, they hate, fuck it, they mad. Love ain't real, it come with a tag. I gave all they flat, no trap.
Salute to everybody that's in the motherfucking building, man. If y'all can hit that like button as soon as y'all come in, we got some things that we currently need to discuss. Shout out to everybody that's helped me get to the 2,500 mark, man. It's been a long time coming, like I said. And I'm looking forward to hitting that 3K mark, that 4K mark, that 5K mark, all the way up to the top. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob, man. None of this shit is possible without y'all, man. Some of the best news that I received all day. Because I ain't going to lie to y'all, there's been a lot of bullshit that's been going on. You know what I'm saying? Outside of my house, you feel what I'm saying? My son's good, thank God. You know, relationship good, thank God. You know, it seems like a lot of things outside, you know, in terms of my career and shit is a bit chaotic at this moment. So when I got the word, you know what I mean? Or at least I saw that I hit the 2,500 mark, man, to let me know that the consistency is paying off and we finally getting somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? What's the name of that song? It's called No Traps by Weezu Falcon. Wezu Falcon, Falcon. It's called No Traps. Available on all music platforms. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Dust22. Flat Out TV, what up? Daniel Koku, what up? Marissa, what's going on? Marissa, good to see you as always. Slime, what up? We definitely in the building, man. Salute. Let's see where we at. I can tell them notifications ain't get sent out. You know, it lets me know that notifications ain't get sent out when I don't see any comments on my stream before I go live. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Daniel Koku said, Amen, Mark. I love your concept, but your homie Southpaw TV is a fucking groupie gang. I can tell you haven't been around lately. Because if you have been around, you would know that Southpaw is not my homie. And he on his own type of time. So I can't really speak on that, man. He go do whatever the fuck he want to do. But in terms of us having a friendship, you know, that's not the case at all. You know what I mean? We not cool. You know, you've been missing out on a lot. I could tell just based off of what you're saying. That's not my homie. So for you to consider him my homie, you must be extremely disconnected, my brother. But salute for you loving the content. You feel what I'm saying? We definitely don't get into that over here, though. We don't get into that TMZ, that spicy nail salon talk that, Southpaw be getting into. That's shit that we don't give a fuck about. I mean, we Mazuma TV. We ain't the Wendy Williams show, you heard? So we talk boxing over here. So let's get this shit popping, man. I ain't even, people gonna start coming in as we in the middle of cooking up anyway. You know what I mean? Agent 007, what up? One of the members of the chat, what up? What up? Talk to me. Yeah, I heard. I mean, Daniel. I hope you got my last sentence of like my last statement in response to what you said initially. But you said you heard about the Tio and Garcia possibly fighting. Yeah, I saw that. You know what I mean? We spoke about that yesterday. You know what I mean? That's yesterday news. I seen Ryan Garcia signing a contract with Turkey. I seen Ryan Garcia pretty much, leaked the fight announcement during an interview. I think with Radio Raheem, Radio Raccoon, whatever you want to call him. And you know what I mean? If that's the fight that's next for Ryan Garcia, on that mate card, is lit. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's an interim fight at all. I think that's a very tough fight for Ryan Garcia, especially if he is being drug tested. Teofimo Lopez, I can say all the shit that I want to say about the man, but one thing we cannot deny is that he's talented and he's a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a more skilled fighter than Ryan Garcia. So, they say skills pay the bills, and if Ryan Garcia isn't able to catch him with that left hook, I think that fight is, way out of his reach. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion. If Ryan can't catch him with that hook or hurt him in any way, I don't see him winning the fight at all. I see Teofimo Lopez completely outclassing him. Teofimo Lopez is more talented, more athletic. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of quickness to him, great reflexes. He could be elusive at times, especially when he's focused, and he's known to rise to the occasion, in some instances. So we'll see. We'll see, man. And Ryan Garcia out here bragging, I'm the only fighter taking these chances. It's like, Ryan, stop it, bro. Like, you could tell that. I mean, of course, yeah, you fought Tank. You quit against Tank, though. You fought what I'm saying? Yeah, you fought Dev, but you cheated against Dev. So, like, how much credit are we necessarily going to give you? Because in reality, your record against these two top guys is 0-1-1. And that third one is not a draw. That's a no contest. You feel what I'm saying? So, y'all can take that for what it is, man. That's just my personal opinion. Rogers II, he said, do you think if Spence retires today, he will be ballot? I think you meant to say first ballot. I don't know what ballot you're considering or talking about. Will he be, brought in the Hall of Fame? Well, this is the thing, man. We got guys like Arturo Gatti in the Boxing Hall of Fame. There's a lot of people that's in the Hall of Fame, the Boxing Hall of Fame right now that haven't accomplished as much as Errol Spence Jr. So, and I heard Lowe say this on one of my lives before. He said that the Hall of Fame is more of a popularity contest, than an actual like Hall of Fame where we running off accolades. You know what I'm saying? Like when we look over Errol Spence's resume, he beat champions. You know what I mean? He beat a Danny Garcia. He beat a Sean Porter. He beat a Udenis Ugas. You know what I'm saying? And one thing he beat a Kell Brook. So he has a few champions on his resume. He was a unified world champion. And, thus far in his career, he's only ever lost to Terence Crawford, who's a Hall of Famer, in himself. You know what I'm saying? And I heard Terence Crawford say that Errol Spence is not a Hall of Famer at this point in time. You see what I mean? If we talking about accolades, I think he's going to need a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because we talking about a unified champion, but a champion who's only ever got belts in one weight class. You know what I mean? And for us to really see him have like a Hall of Fame career, he's going to have to at least get a belt in another weight class, aka 154, 160. And he's going to have to beat a little bit more notable names before I could really, give him the nod for the Hall of Fame. But will he be inducted to the Hall of Fame? Most likely, because he was a popular fighter. You know what I mean? He was one of the cash cows, during his stretch, during his era. But, in my opinion, like, is he a Hall of Famer? I think he got to achieve a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Errol Spence beat some quality names. He became unified. That's something that a lot of fighters haven't done. He's fought for undisputed. That's something that a lot of fighters haven't done. But He hasn't bounced back since the first sign of adversity in his career. You know, he was supposed to fight Sebastian Fundora. If he would have beat him and became unified champion, that probably would have been enough, in my opinion, to give him the nod. But you know what I mean? What Errol Spence has been doing lately is, you know, trying to get fights going and then, you know, stalling it out for as long as he can until, you know, his opponent gives up and moves on to more options. This is the second fight that Errol Spence has had, you know, and this is consecutive where, you know, he's trying to lock a fight date down. He's trying to lock that opponent in, and, you know, he's supposed to be getting ready for a fight, getting ready for camp. And then, you know, it drags out to the point where it's like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? You know, like, is we fighting? Like what's going on? And then it gets to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to keep waiting. I ain't about to be here stalling my career out, this shit that I have to do. And I'm not going to be sitting here waiting for you to get ready. And Errol Spence basically admitted on social media that he's not ready. So, you know, I don't know exactly what's going on with Errol Spence. I don't know if he's having trouble locking in a trainer. I don't know if he's still feeling the effects from his previous fight. He doesn't want to go in there, you know, messed up or, you know, a shell of himself. I have no idea what's going on with Errol Spence. But one thing I can say is that it's extremely frustrating. I feel like Errol Spence should have been on the road by now. You know, he held Terence Crawford out, and that's why Terence Crawford was inactive for a good moment in time because, you know, they were supposed to rematch immediately. He activated his rematch clause. He was supposed to fight, and I think what year was that? December of 2022, or was it 23? By December, like 2023. My fault. I'm just listening for my son. I'm just keep this one headphone on. You know, December of 2023, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Nothing's happening. So, you know, Terence Crawford gave him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, he gave me a chance. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give him a little bit of time to, you know, get his shit together. He never got it together, y'all. And then all of a sudden he's having fallouts with his own trainer and getting sued by his trainer for not, you know, paying him what they agreed to. Errol Spence got a lot of messy shit going on. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it is frustrating that, you know, not only did he hold up the 147 division, but he absolutely held up the 154-pound division. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not blaming anybody but Errol Spence in this situation, if we being honest. He did it with Terence Crawford, and he just did it with Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora was under the assumption that the fight was going to happen, so he turned down a Terence Crawford fight because he felt like he was in a better, you know, position in terms of finances and just making more sense overall. You know what I'm saying? And the whole time, you know, Terence, you know, this man Errol Spence, like he pump faking, bro. He pump faking. You know, I told you guys how I thought that the WBC was 100% correct in not allowing Errol Spence to compete for the WBO and then listing their reasoning behind why he shouldn't compete for the WBO. I thought that was extremely valid. However, the business of boxing, you know what I mean, persisted on making this fight happen. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, like I was saying, they persisted on making this fight happen. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really called for that fight. You know, we wanted to see Errol Spence, you know, get back. You know what I mean? But we ain't want him to jump into a straight unification fight with Sebastian Fundora. We felt like there was more people worthy of that opportunity, a.k.a. the nigga who just beat Errol Spence. We wanted to see Terence Crawford fight Sebastian Fundora. What did they do? PBC insists that Errol Spence fight Sebastian Fundora. They got him in the ring. They trying to build this shit up. And, you know, Terence Crawford like, yo, you got to wait in line. He said, I don't wait in lines. And the whole time, this nigga stood at the front of the line, was the first nigga in the line. And then after the doors are open, you know what I mean? Niggas waiting for you to walk in, and you never take the steps necessary to walk in the motherfucking building. So you just waited up the whole line for absolutely no reason. And it's extremely frustrating. You feel what I'm saying? So I ain't blaming nobody but Errol for this, man. You know, of course, Sebastian Fundora could have chose a different opponent off of the rip, but you know, he's just listening to the people that he compensate at the end of the day to guide his career. You feel what I'm saying? You could always, I mean, you are the fighter, so you have the ultimate say so at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But if you paying these niggas percentages of your purse, or you giving them, you know, crazy amounts of money in order to guide your career, you're gonna trust them to guide your career. And, you know, AKA Samson Lukowitz and shit felt like this was a better opportunity, felt like it was a better payday. And, you know, they might have been right. At the same time, I really can't blame them because they didn't know that Errol Spence was going to be, you know what I mean, half-assing like this. Niggas ain't know that Errol Spence was going to, you know what I mean, be hesitating like this. They were sure that this fight was going to happen, you know, the end of this year, the end of last year, you know, the top of this year. We was here. I remember we was hearing March dates. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Anonymous said, I'm blaming Fundora too. He could have easily went a different route months ago. This was like the third time the Spence fight got pushed back. Well, I could recall, you know, the Terence Crawford rematch with Errol Spence being pushed back, you know, a couple times as well. And I didn't see anybody necessarily blaming Terence Crawford, bro. It was Errol Spence at the end of the day, man. He's giving these fighters the impression that he's gonna be stepping into the ring with them, that they're gonna get a fight popping. Let's keep it real. Errol Spence is a solid name. He got a history with, you know, doing numbers at the Cowboy Stadium. They see that, they see dollar signs, so they gravitating towards that. All right, it makes sense. We're gonna run up a bag together. Let's get it. And the whole time they under the impression that this shit is gonna pop off, and then it never does. So it's like, can we blame Sebastian Fundora? Yeah, because he could have easily seen the bullshit and be like, you know what? I ain't going to be sitting here waiting too long. You know what I mean? It's been a while since I fought, so I need to get back in the mix. But at the same time, it's like Errol Spence out here delivering empty promises. And, you know, like I said, it's extremely frustrating, bro. And this is coming from somebody who is a huge Errol Spence fan. And I rock with Errol Spence. I don't really like how that shit went with his trainer and all that, especially if it was true that, you know, he was fucking his trainer over and shit like that. I'm a trainer, so I hate to hear stories like that. And whenever I see fighters fucking over trainers, it really gives me it really turns me off as a fan. You feel what I'm saying? So do I know what's going on with Errol Spence right now? No, I don't. I can make my assumptions like maybe he didn't lock in a trainer yet. I guess he didn't find the right fit. You know, because one thing we do know is that Errol Spence is training, but is he comfortable with selecting somebody who can guide the rest of his career in terms of, you know, training him, getting him ready for them big moments? You know, a lot of people were under the impression that he was going to rock with Breadman, but then we heard Breadman talk, and he said it was nothing solidified yet, and that he had some worthy trainers that was also in the running. I guess Errol Spence getting indecisive, not knowing what the fuck he wants to do, and you know, it's a big holdup right now. You know what I'm saying? So the fight has fell through. You know what I mean? I see Terence Crawford shooting his shots at Sebastian Fundora, talking about how, you know, you could have easily fought me, but now that ship is sailed. So he pretty much said, like, that's what the fuck you get for, you know, avoiding me. And now that opportunity to fight me, which is also one of the biggest fights you could have taken, is no longer available. I'm about to go rumble Canelo. You know what I mean? You had the opportunity to fight me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't want to fight me. You chose Errol Spence instead. Now that shit fell through. You know what I mean? You probably going to be looking for an opportunity, but it's no longer here. AKA, you just fucked yourself over. That's what I took from Terence Crawford's message. And yeah, he didn't directly say Sebastian Fundora, but if you put 2 and 2 together and you know what's been happening in the sport of boxing since Sebastian Fundora beat Tim Tszyu, then it's obvious who he's talking about. You know, he wasn't talking about an Errol Spence. You know, he moved on from that rematch. He didn't really look for that fight at 154. To be honest with you, he didn't even really look forward. Steven Nelson told you that Terence Crawford didn't look forward to rematching Errol Spence because he didn't feel like the fight was competitive. So why go through it again? He wants to explore bigger options. Terence Crawford tells you all the time, he got bigger fish to fry. This is who Bomac told me on the channel. This is who's on Terence Crawford's agenda. It's nobody else. No, it ain't Boost. No, it ain't no fucking Errol Spence rematch. It was Canelo Alvarez that they was looking for. You know what I mean? But while Canelo Alvarez got his shit going on over here, I'm going to go rumble MarkMazuma off real quick. All right, me and Canelo available now. Let's make this shit happen. You feel what I mean? So I knew he was talking about Sebastian Fundora off of the rip. And I mean, Terence Crawford, he's not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Bullies, what's going on, brother? Beth Annual, what's going on, brother? J Cash, what up? What's going on? What's going on? You feel what I'm saying? So that's, you know, Terence Crawford wasn't wrong for putting that statement out there. He pretty much was he was trolling Fundora on some low key shit. He said, well, that's what he wrote. He's like, well, after he seen the announcement that the fight fell through with Errol Spence, and then he said what he said following that. You feel what I mean? So, I mean, we'll see what Sebastian Fundora does next. And the reason why I put Charles Conwell in the thumbnail that you're currently seeing on this live is because Charles Conwell is with the shits. You feel what I'm saying? He said, yo, like, this is the opportunity I've been looking for. You know, I'm ready to fight, unlike Errol Spence Jr. You feel what I'm saying? So that was a little subtle shot at Errol Spence Jr., but it is what it is, bro. You out here, you know what I mean, scared to come up off your pivot, cuz like you just sitting in the same spot. You know, you ain't trying to do nothing. So, and you really held up a whole division. You know what I'm saying? Sebastian Fundora could have been on his second fight by now, you know, defending his titles, or his, you know, he could have fought somebody and somebody else could have easily became unified champion of the world. You held the division up. You know what I mean? You giving niggas false hope. So now Charles Conwell is coming up to the table talking about how he want that Rumble. And I think that's a great fight. Charles Conwell, very dangerous fight for Sebastian Fundora. You feel what I'm saying? And I think he could beat Sebastian Fundora. If we talking stylistically, you know, based off of what they bring to the table, this nigga Charles Conwell is a machine. This dude is a motherfucking predator in that motherfucking ring. You know what I'm saying? Done caught a body in there. You know what I'm saying? Not to be insensitive or anything like that, but that's the reality. So very, very dangerous dude Charles Conwell is. And, you know, I think he has what it takes to defeat Sebastian Fundora from a stylistic standpoint. Is he as experienced as Sebastian Fundora? Nah, we can't say that. But, you know, I think with the tools that Charles Conwell possesses and the weaknesses that Sebastian Fundora has that we've seen, you know, in his previous fights, I think that this is a fight for Charles Conwell to win. And he may very well be an underdog, you know what I'm saying, in these sports betting books and shit like that. So that would be an intriguing fight if that fight were to be made. But the Sebastian Fundora necessarily looking Charles Conwell's direction, I highly doubt it. I don't know. Samson Luka is not giving the green light on that. You know, unless a sanctioning body forces that fight, you know, either the WBO or the WBC, it's not happening, y'all. So I think that this is just, you know, fans, just revealing their desires. But in terms of the fight actually happening next, I don't think so. I think Sebastian Fundora, whoever he chooses to fight next, is going to be somebody, you know what I mean, that's more popular, most likely. You feel what I mean? But Sebastian Fundora, he got 2 world titles. You know, he's the man of the division right now if we're talking about champions. So we'll see. We'll see. That Errol Spence fight is out of the way. So now, you know, we could leave it up to a unification fight with Bakram Murtazaliev. You feel what I'm saying? You know, he could do some unfinished business with Erickson Lubin. You know, there's a few ways that Fundora could go about it, in all honesty. Unless the sanctioning body forces him to fight somebody or whatever the case is, Fundora has the world at his feet right now. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what's going on with Fundora. But, you know, very disappointed by how the way Errol Spence approached all of this. He pretty much admitting that he's not ready. Bro, how much time do you need to get ready? How much time do you need to get ready, bro? You ain't fight since July of 2023. How much time do you need to get ready? This is ridiculous, bro. It's either you going to get the fuck ready in a timely fashion or just hang them fucking gloves up, bro. It's about to be, what, 2 years? It's about to be 2 years, bro. It's been a year and what? August, September, October, November, December, January. It's been a year and a half, bro. Shit is ridiculous. I don't know how much prep time a nigga need, JK. This shit is ridiculous, bro. I ain't fucking with it at all. I'm already not fucking with Errol, how the way he was moving with Derrick James, how he fucked Derrick James over and admitted in text that he fucked Derrick James over. Now you out here acting like, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't ready. You over here half stepping, nigga. I thought you was a stepper. What's going on? You take a loss and now you doubtful of where you at. You doubtful on whether you ready or not. Coffee plant, what up? Go get the money. He said Earl's still traumatized from that butt ass whooping. I really don't want to believe that. You know, I want to believe that Errol Spence is a warrior. I just ain't feeling his actions right now. That's all. You feel me? Ralph said, he talks about not wanting to take tune-ups, but he needs to. Yeah, man. Like, get your dumb ass back in the mix, cuz you've been out a year and a half. You know what I mean? If you would have fought Sebastian Fundora right away, bro, that shit could have easily went bad for you because, you know, specifically based off of the fact that you saying you not ready. You know what I'm saying? So he need to get his feet back in the motherfucking water, bro. And if you hesitating all like that and you doubtful of yourself, go ahead and hang him up, bro. But yeah, man, that's the news. Unfortunately, Errol Spence Fundora is canceled. You know, Terence Crawford, you know, dissed Fundora as a result of that. You know what I'm saying? So now it gets to the point where I'm gonna ask y'all one by one. And y'all can leave y'all comments below and let me know what y'all think. Do you think Spence should retire? Is that a serious conversation we should be having right now? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all want to see him do one more to see how, you know, he is? Let me know what it is, bro. What is y'all? What's on y'all mind? What y'all thinking? I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if he moving like this, bro, I ain't really feeling his actions. It's like it's either you like Bozy say, it's either you shit or you get off the pot, cuz. It's either you shit or you get off the pot. Niggas ain't shitting, cuz. You know what I'm saying? They just sitting there. Y'all want to see one more? Okay, so we not putting the retirement shit on him yet. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I get it. I want to see one more too. I want to see how he is. Is he a shell of himself? You know what I mean? Do he got a lot left in the tank? Did he recover well? Did he not recover well? Like, these are things that I want to know. But if you're gonna be sitting here acting like you don't want to get in the ring, then you just need to go ahead and go about your business, bro. If he's there mentally. I'm sure he there mentally. Like I said, he a warrior. He a dog. You know, it ain't nothing for him to fight. But at the same time, it's like, come on, dog. Like, how much more waiting we gonna have to do as fans? You already done shut the fans out. You know what I'm saying? You already not talking to them. You know what I mean? You out doing your own thing, and that's your prerogative. You feel what I'm saying? That's your right to do so. But you know what I mean? I don't know. He just been rubbing me the wrong way. I don't like how the way he moving for real. Marissa says, I want to see him do one more. Usually fighters don't do good after a long layoff, but I think he will do good. Okay, so you giving him the benefit of the doubt. Okay. That's your right. Errol needs to hang it up for real, because in my opinion, I don't think he beats Fundora. I mean, if Errol Spence is himself or, you know, he has a lot left in the tank, Sebastian Fundora can be in trouble, to be honest with you. You know, Sebastian Fundora likes to fight on the inside. He gives his reach away. You know what I mean? He did fight a more disciplined outside fight against Tim Tszyu, but I do think that Tim Tszyu's downfall was the cut in reality, because prior to the cut, he was getting off and landing some real clean shots on Fundora. So I think Errol Spence, based off of what he specializes in, which is that inside body attack, I think he could have a lot of success against Fundora. You feel what I mean? But if he's a shell of himself, he could be in a world of trouble. Oh, world of trouble. You know what I mean? I think that's what makes it interesting. But with the long layoff and, you know, being brutalized in your last fight, it can swing in Fundora's favor quite easily, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But if we talking about like prime Errol, he destroys Fundora. He destroys Fundora. Like the Errol Spence that fought Lamont Peterson, you know what I mean? The Errol Spence that fought what the fuck is this dude name? The fuck, like the Chris Van Heerdens, even the Kell Brooks, like that version of Earl Spence, he will stop Fundora without a doubt. But I think it's safe to say at this point in time that Earl is no longer that. That's just me being honest. I think he accumulated so much damage due to his outside habits, aka the car accident. Due to, bad habits. They said that boy Errol liked to drink. You know what I'm saying? I think that car accident really took a toll on his body in terms of, becoming, injury prone. You feel what I mean? He lost the Pacquiao fight as a result of that. He lost the rematch with Bud as a result of that, from what I understand. So I don't know, man. I don't really know what to think about Earl. Like I'm on both sides. I want to see him do one more, but then I also feel like, that one more might be just a waste of time based off of the things that I've been seeing and how the way he's been moving. But we'll see. If Earl Spence does another one, he decides to do another one, I'll be watching. Spence just tweeted. Said the fight didn't happen with Fundora because the WBO wouldn't sanction it for a few reasons. Too long of a layoff, first fight in the 154-pound division, not being ranked in the 154-pound division. Shout out to the WBO for standing on their square, but that's not the reason why the fight didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Earl Spence, Sebastian Fundora, they knew that the WBO was not going to be on the line if they were to face each other. You feel what I'm saying? That's just not, but the WBC would have still been on the line, and that would have been enough for Earl Spence to take on the opportunity. You feel what I mean? All that means is that the WBO is not going to allow that belt to be present when they fight each other. That's cool. But the fight would have happened regardless. If the WBO was the sole reason why they wasn't fighting, they would have been canceled the fight, because the WBO been put out a statement saying that Earl Spence will not be competing for their title. You know what I mean? The WBO feels like there's more worthy people in line at 154 that truly deserve a shot. And I agree with them 1,000%. I'm not a fan of the jumping in front of the line bullshit. You feel what I mean? But somebody just said, who said that? Duh. Oh, okay, yeah, he said that. I seen that tweet earlier. Earl Spence tweeted that like a couple hours ago. He said that he'll be back when he's ready. So based off of that logic, right now, he's not ready. Now, what way is he not ready in? I'm not sure. I don't know. It might be from a coaching perspective. It might be from a physical perspective. It might be from a mental aspect. Who fucking knows, bro? You know what I'm saying? Somebody by the mind of Boxing Mind TV said, "We want to see you back in that ring, champ." Errol Spence responds, "I'll be back when I'm ready." Lets you know that he's not ready for this. He's not ready for that fight with Fundora right now. But the thing is, if you've been knowing this, then you shouldn't have held up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that you was ready and then all of a sudden you wasn't ready. This whole time you wasn't ready, but you gave niggas the impression that you was. So it's kind of corny that you made people wait all these months and then come out and say, "I'm not ready." That's goofy shit. That's just my personal opinion. There's no way Earl Spence could say, "Oh, I was ready back in, October, but I'm not ready now." That don't even make no sense. This whole time that you've been building up this fight with Fundora and assuring people that you was gonna fight Fundora, you was not ready. Hoping to get ready, but you never did get ready. In whatever way you're lacking. You feel what I'm saying? And then you come out well into 2025. We at the midway mark of January. And you talking about you not ready. Okay. That's what's frustrating in all honesty. Mercer Alvarez said it's like you think what he could have been, but that accident messed him up. Even though he came back and got W's, it still messed him up. Absolutely, it definitely took something from him. He was still good enough to beat guys like Danny Garcia and your Dennis Ugas and shit like that, but it still cost him. And we've only seen it in one performance. in all honesty, with Terence Crawford, but his body was letting you know that the motorcycle accident had an effect on it. I mean, the car accident had an effect on him. You know, when this one eye goes out during the sparring session or whatever he said, and then the other eye goes out, you know what I'm saying? It's just not a good look, man. Double eye surgery, that's wear and tear, bro. That's wear and tear. And these might have been training related injuries, but it's very possible that those injuries were aggravated from the car accident. Go Get the Money says Errol need to fight Danny Garcia again, and they both just walk into the sunset. I mean, that's a good one. You know what I'm saying? But I was saying how Keith Thurman and Spence and Danny need to run it back. But now that Errol Spence is available, maybe they can make something happen. You know what I mean? They both on their way out. You know what I mean? Danny said he want to do one more and hang it up. Errol Spence has alluded to this being his last fight in previous tweets in the past. So, fuck it. Let's see it. Marissa Alvarez says, I think Spence before the accident versus Crawford would have been a more competitive and closer fight. I mean, I agree with you, but I'm not going to use – I think a lot of people nowadays, they use that as a way to discredit Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford can't help that this nigga decided to drink and go out one night and flip a Ferrari. You feel what I mean? Not trying to sound insensitive, but that's the reality. Like, Terence Crawford can't control what he does outside of the ring. The reality of the situation is he came back into boxing. You know what I mean? He had people feeling like he was back after the Danny performance. When he stopped Ugas, they felt like he, you know, Errol Spence's back, blah, blah, blah. You feel what I mean? So he fought Errol Spence in the best condition that Errol Spence could have possibly been in, considering his circumstances. You know what I mean? So I'll never be the one to use that as a reason why. I'm never going to use that excuse as a reason to belittle Crawford's victory. You know what I'm saying? You got in there, you know what I mean? You were unified champion at the time that you fought him, and you got dominated. And that's just the reality. Like, I see a lot of people try to take away, Lennox Lewis' victory over Mike Tyson, saying that Mike Tyson was washed up. Like, ain't nobody tell Mike to do that time in jail. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody tell Mike to get on drugs. You feel what I mean? Lennox Lewis can't help that Mike Tyson was moving like that in his career. Lennox Lewis was chasing Mike for a long time. And he finally got that, opportunity at that given moment. And to be honest with you, Lennox Lewis was at the end of his career around that time too. He wanted to retire after Mike. You feel what I mean? So, I just don't like using, those type of excuses to take away from fighters' victories. Terence Crawford victory against Errol Spence was phenomenal. One of the best, I thought that was the performance of the year and one of the best performances we've seen in this current era. Facts. There's not many high-level fights you see where it's that one-sided. And if the accident was that much of a detrimental factor for Errol, you could say that he could have been exposed by Errol or Dennis Ugas, who are both high-level welterweights at the time, and neither one of them were able to do so. So, you know what I mean? It couldn't have been that much of an issue. If it was that much of a factor, he would have been got exposed prior to Crawford. Boxing Nerd 1-on-1 with the Canadian. What's that, Canadian money? He sent me $7 Canadian. Is that what that is? Let me check real quick. I never got a different type of I never got foreign currency sent to the chat before. Let me see what this is. Yeah, he sent me Canadian dollars. Shout out to the man Boxing Nerd 1-on-1 for sending your boy $7 Canadian. He said, is boxing a game? And explain. Or why not? Boxing is absolutely not a game. You feel what I'm saying? In my opinion, this is a sport. This is a sport that sanctions violence. You feel what I mean? This is a sport where, a lot of people don't come back home the same. This is a game. I mean, this is a sport where, I called it a game. You see what I said? But I switched it up real quick. It's a sport where, it'll break your heart every time, like Mike Tyson said. You feel what I mean? This is a sport where people jeopardize their health. You feel me? This is a sport where people don't make it home to their families. There's people that, walk out of the ring, fall into comas, and never wake up. This is a sport where you could easily be on top. You could be on top of the game and then end up being a gatekeeper within a few years. There's managers and lawyers in the game that fuck fighters over. There's fighters who made hundreds of millions of dollars and then come back home at the end of their career with nothing and still having to be in their 40s and 50s and still box. Is boxing a game? Absolutely not. When I think of boxing, I think it's a beautiful sport. One of the oldest sports ever recorded in human history. But when you look into the details, when you look into the fine print of the sport, you will understand that this is not a game. You know what I mean? There's a lot of corruption in the sport. There's a lot of, bullshit that goes on behind the scenes that'll make you look at the sport completely differently. Beautiful, beautiful sport, but is it a game? Absolutely not. And you already know what the saying is, man. You already know what the cliche is that be going around the sport. You can't play boxing. You could play games. Can't play boxing. You could play soccer. You could play football. You could play baseball. You can't play boxing. You know what I mean? And people say that for a reason. It's far from a game. Shout out to the boy Boxing Nerd 101 for that super chat, man. Asking a pretty solid question. You know what I mean? A pretty solid question. My boy sent me $7 Canadian, though. That's a flex right there, man. I got people watching me from Tokyo. I got people watching me from St. Croix. I got people watching me from Canada. I got people watching me from Texas, LA. You know what I mean? We know Philly in the building, New York in the building. You feel what I'm saying? Like we a small channel, but we definitely getting around, man. We definitely getting around. So salute the Boxing Nerd 101 for showing love to the chat. You know what I mean? And supporting the channel overall. Arizona in the building. Shout out to my boy Jay Cash. We got Ohio in the building. New Jersey, Massachusetts. We got people in Puerto Rico tuning into your boy. The shit is real. The love is real, man. Salute to the nation and the mob. Go Get the Money says some people tend to forget that Bud was trying to fight Errol before his car accident, but Errol said, I'm going to take the easy route first. So in my opinion, I believe Errol knew he couldn't beat Bud. Well, I see what you're saying, but I'm going to disagree with that last statement. I think that what Errol Spence was trying to do was, see, this is the thing, right? PBC got a history of doing in-house fights and things of that nature. When you look at the landscape of the 147 division at the time, 3 out of the 4 belts was within the PBC stable, right? So at the time, we had Errol Spence, who was the IBF welterweight champion of the world. We had Sean Porter, who was the WBC welterweight champion of the world. And then we had, who Manny Pacquiao lost to, your Dennis Ugas is the WBA champion of the world. So his whole goal, although he did admit that it was the easy route to go to first, it was the most logical route. You feel what I'm saying? Because historically, it's always been more difficult to make fights when it's outside of your network, correct? It's possible. I've never been the one to say that a fight is impossible to make because one person's over here and, that whole other side of the street bullshit. I never condoned that. I never accepted that. But historically, it has been more difficult, specifically PBC and Top Rank, to make super fights together. They've always had difficulty, putting those big fights together, a la Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. However, Errol Spence was in a situation where it was much easier to get those 2 belts. And it was really a power move in reality because, I guess it wasn't a power move because I think Terence Crawford still got like a good size of the pie. But Errol Spence was probably thinking about it at the time, like, yo, I got Sean Porter right here next door. I got you Dennis Ugas right here next door. Nobody's going to be in the way of making these fights happen. Errol, Al Heyman going to knock this one out quick, fast, in a motherfucking hurry. And that's exactly what happened. Went, defeat Sean Porter, took his WBC belt. Then he went over, beat you Dennis Ugas, got that WBA belt. No, actually, he beat Sean Porter, got in that car accident, bounced back with Danny, then, beat you Dennis Ugas. You feel what I'm saying? So now that he has the majority of the belts, he took all the belts that was within his stable. He went and he faced Terence Crawford at the end. Now, I do think that in Errol Spence's mind, he knew that Bud was the hardest opponent out of all of them. But I do, at the same time, believe that Errol Spence was confident enough in himself where he felt like he had what it took to defeat Terence Crawford. So I'm not going to sit here and say that Errol Spence knew he couldn't beat Bud. I believe that he believed in his heart of hearts that he could beat Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? But I do agree with you in the sense where he said that he was going to take the easy route first. He said that out of his own mouth while they were talking face-to-face with each other. So, and I do agree that Bud was trying to fight Errol before the car accident. As soon as he grabbed that belt off of Jeff Horn, you know, in his first fight at 147, he wanted to fight all of the top dogs. You feel what I mean? And, you know, everybody that was under the PBC umbrella at the time belittled Terence Crawford, specifically Keith Thurman, belittled Terence Crawford, made it seem like, oh, he's a 140-pounder. Oh, he needs to get a belt first. Okay, he got a belt. Then they did everything they could to make it seem like Bud wasn't worth it and he didn't bring anything to the table. Errol was the only one out of that whole stable that knew the threat that Terence Crawford was. He knew that that fight was going to happen. He was the only one that seemed to be on board with making the fight happen. A lot of people since we're talking about what people tend to forget, a lot of people tend to forget that without Errol Spence, you know, really pushing it, this fight would have never have happened, point blank, period. PBC did not want to make this fight happen. Showtime, Steven Espinoza did not want to make this fight happen. They said that they said that Terence Crawford was asking for too much. He was being illogical in negotiations. And Errol Spence said, man, I don't give a fuck. Give him what he's asking for. Oh, that's what he want? Give it to him. Oh, that's what he want. 50. I don't know if it was 50-50, but let's say it was 50-50. Oh, he want 50-50. Give it to him. He want to be introduced first. He want to be introduced last. Give it to him. He literally gave Bud everything he was requesting. If it was not for that, this fight would have never have happened. PBC wanted Errol Spence to fight Keith Thurman. Y'all can just go back and do the Googles, do your research. It's going to show that PBC want very little to do with Bud. So I don't believe that Errol would do all of this shit just to feel like he couldn't beat Bud. No, he felt like he could beat Bud. It just didn't turn out how the way he thought it was going to turn out. You feel what I'm saying? It was a little bit more difficult than he had anticipated. He thought he had the right tools, and he showed that he didn't have a single tool that could fix that problem that Terence Crawford put in front of him. That's the reality. That's the reality. You feel me? So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bud was definitely chasing that Errol fight. He told him to his face, how you the boogeyman when I'm chasing you? And that was some real shit. That was some real shit, people. So, yeah. Des22 said Errol power moved, worked out for Bud at the end, with Bud becoming undisputed. On another note, Errol going to end up fighting Charlo in Texas. That's his next biggest fight. That's actually a great fucking point, Des. I'm glad that you brought this up. Houston versus Dallas at the Cowboys Stadium. That shit would absolutely go crazy. You feel what I'm saying? These guys have a history. They had the same trainer at one point. I don't know if Charlo's still going to be with Derrick James, but let's say, for instance, he's still with Derrick James, and they happen to be, you know, separate from each other. Man, that's going to be a hell of a storyline when these guys fight each other, because don't nobody know Errol Spence like Derrick James. You feel what I'm saying? He started working with Errol when he was an amateur, built him up to a unified champion at 147, made him one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. To be against the guy who essentially helped make you, that's a scary thing. And there's going to be a lot of animosity. There's going to be a lot of fucking tension. And as far as I'm concerned, these guys are still in court, you know, going through litigations or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So that'll be absolutely insane. Great stylistic matchup. Jermell has been inactive since the Canelo loss. You know, Errol Spence has been inactive since the Terence Crawford loss. I'm under the impression that Jermell got a lot more left in the tank than Errol, so I would favor Jermell in this instance. However, stylistically, that'll be a fucking banger. I wanted that fight back when I wanted to see that fight back when they was both with Derrick James, but they was acting like they was fucking brothers. You know what I mean? Jermell was like, oh, I'll never fight Errol. Errol, on the other hand, was like, if the money right, I'll fight him. So at the time, it seemed like Errol was with the shits and Jermell wasn't, but there's literally no excuse as to why this fight shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do feel like Jermell is looking for a belt. So I think that he will be more optimistic about fighting a Fundora than fighting an Errol Spence. And don't be surprised if Jermell slithers his way in to that Sebastian Fundora fight. They both with PBC. They both deal with Al Heyman. They love to do in-house fights. You know what I'm saying? So let's be clear. You know, PBC got they got a way of doing things. They got a way of going about things business-wise. And if they could keep all the money in-house and still make a good fight at the same time, they're gonna do it. I mean, so y'all, that's 22. Listen, you brought up a great fucking fight. But I think that Jermell, when he weighs his options, I feel like he'll believe or be under the impression that Fundora is the more significant fight. It'll get him closer to where he wants to be. He says he wants to take over 154 again. Is he going to be able to accelerate that process with Errol? Or is he going to be able to accelerate that process with the unified champion at 154? Gotta think about it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he chose Errol. That'll be a good-ass payday, great storyline. You know what I mean? Jermell like to talk his shit. Errol not scared to respond. He not scared to talk his shit. I'm sure they'll bring up their sparring sessions. It'll be a good-ass build-up. Very entertaining build-up. So, you know, this just makes me excited for the 154 division, man. You know what I mean? Besides heavyweight, I think 154 is the best division in boxing. And, you know, may very well be a better division than heavyweight, in all honesty, depending on who you're talking to. But phenomenal fight right there. So what we talking about, man? Let me know what we talking about. What we closing this live out with, man? Let me know what we talking about. What's on your mind? What is it that y'all want to know? Yeah, I mean, because we already spoke about what Devin Haney's moves are. Is Bakram Murtazaliev with PBC? Is he officially signed with PBC? Is that's real? I don't even know who Bakram with. Yeah. Oh, he with Kathy Duva. Okay. Kathy Duva found a way to get them European fighters, boy. I remember she had Sergey Kovalev and she was cashing out on that motherfucker. But anyways, I don't think Bakram is a PBC fighter, but I'm sure he doesn't have a problem. I mean, and this is another thing a lot of people don't know. Tim Tszyu not with PBC neither. He's just collaborated with PBC. Fundora is a PBC fighter, though. You know what I mean? Bud, he's a free agent. He can move wherever he want to move, but he is highly involved, I guess you would say, with Riyadh season. He's an ambassador, so, you know, he has a strong relationship with them. I smell like coffee in this bitch. Fuck. Des22 said Tank said his team sent Cora an offer. I don't think he said he sent the offer. I think he said he sent the contract. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I don't believe that at all. I think that he sent Loma an offer. I think he sent Loma a contract. But in terms of communicating with Cora's team, I'm sure he did that. But communicating with a team doesn't necessarily mean that an offer is being made or a contract is being sent. I don't believe any of that at all. You know, and if that is the reality, he need to go ahead and prove it. Just like Shakur Stevenson said, prove it. You know what I mean? But most likely we won't ever see a contract being posted on social media or anything like that. So that'll just blow off into the wind like all this other shit does. I don't believe it. I think that if he would have sent Shakur an offer or sent a contract, there would have been more, news about that. Shakur would have been criticized more heavily, but, I don't think it happened. I don't think it happened at all. And if that did happen, why didn't Tank ever why didn't he bring it up when people kept asking him about fighting Shakur? You know what I mean? All he was doing was talking about how Shakur don't deserve the opportunity. Why didn't he just say instead, I sent him an offer and he turned it down? Or I sent him a contract and he turned it down. You never heard that out of Tank's mouth until today. Why? Like, that would be the first thing that popped up in my mind. If I know that I sent Shakur Stevenson a contract to fight, or I sent him an offer to fight and he turned it down, whenever the media asked about it, I would be like, I tried to make the fight happen. He turned it down. Why didn't Tank ever bring that up? All Tank ever talk about is how Shakur ain't worthy. Or what has he done? You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe that shit at all. I think Tank is a fucking liar in this instance. This shit too easy, bro. If you just think about shit logically, you can answer a whole lot of questions. Yeah, I don't believe him. And this ain't me defending Core at all. It's just logically thinking through shit. This would have been news that would have been revealed by now. Go Get the Money says, I got a question. How Frank deserved to fight with Tank, but Shakur don't? That's a beautiful question, my brother, that I do not have an answer to, but I see that you're thinking logically as a man, just like a man should. And these are questions that I want answered as well. But, when you ask these type of questions nowadays, you antagonizing the fighter or you hating on the fighter. You feel what I mean? Well, all you want is the truth. All we be looking for is the truth, or, just honest, tough questions to be answered. But, they run from it just like they run from, elite level fights. You know what I mean? So now Tank's whole thing is, I'm loyal to Al Heyman, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I don't switch sides. I don't dick ride, blah, blah, blah. Tank, you got every right to deal with who you want to deal with in boxing. You got every right to be loyal to who you want to be loyal to in the sport of boxing. However, ain't no fucking loyalty in this business shit, cuz. Because let's say you wake up tomorrow and Al Heyman no longer wants to do business with you. You just straight retiring? Or are you going to listen out for other people's offers? You feel what I mean? And if you so loyal how you claim to be, why you ain't stick around with Mayweather Promotions? Why you ain't stick by Floyd? Oh, you don't want to have them conversations, huh? You was talking about punching Floyd in his shit. And in the lead up to the Frank Martin fight, you was talking about punching Floyd in his shit. Why would you punch Floyd in his face? Why would you do that? You should be loyal to him. You wouldn't be the big name that you was without Floyd cosign. Where your loyalty at with that? Where your loyalty at with Coach Calvin? Why you over here training with what the fuck is this dude name? No disrespect to him. Fuck. Why you got Coach Calvin sitting in Baltimore while you in camp with the dude that Bruner used to train with? What the fuck is his name, y'all? My fault. Fuck, I'm fucking up right now. I know this dude name. What the fuck is his name, y'all? Y'all know his name. How the fuck I forgot this dude's name? I'm slipping. Who's that coach, man? Broner worked with him too. Fuck. No, it wasn't Coach. No, it wasn't Coach Kenny. It's not Kenny. Mike Stafford. Is that who it is? Or I think Mike Stafford passed away. The fuck is that? Coach Cunningham. What's his first name? Is it Kevin Cunningham? Is that who he working with? Why I feel like that's not the right name? Gotta be Kevin Cunningham. It gotta be Kevin Cunningham. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Des for reminding me. Yeah, like if you so loyal, why do you gotta go to other trainers to get work in, bro? Then he going live and he talking about, yeah, you know, I got Coach Calvin tatted on me. You know what I'm saying? It's always, man, he always gonna be there and all that, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, bro. Like, nigga, if you're gonna be bringing up loyalty, bring that shit up. Make sure you got that shit down packed all across the board. You feel what I'm saying? I posted that in the group chat earlier. Word for word. I said Tank gonna be sick. The day that Al Heyman decided to do business with Turkey. That nigga might lose his mind. I said that word for word, verbatim. Said that verbatim in the group chat earlier. And then I had a homie of mine ask me, do I think it's possible? Hell yeah. If the money right, it's possible. I do think Al Heyman like to move his own way. He like to do things, you know what I mean? He like to do things on his own terms. I do think Al is stubborn like that. But if the price is right, I think Al would do just about anything. Yeah, that probably make Tank retire right there. He was like, oh shit, now I gotta deal with Turkey because of Al. And I ain't about to fight these niggas. I don't got no say-so. Because when you dealing with Turkey, you really ain't got no say-so, cuz. It's like, yo, this the money. This who we want you to fight. Yes or no? And we need to know now. It's only going to be competitive fights you getting from Turkey. If you going over the Riyadh season, just know you about to fight another dog, cuz. Niggas ain't about to be giving you no 5-6 million to be fighting no Lamar Roach. Niggas ain't about to be giving you no 10 million to be fighting no motherfucking what's one of them niggas? You know what I mean? A Hector Luis Garcia. This ain't that old PBC shit that these niggas used to do, make millions of dollars for tune-ups. Nah, bro. You want this motherfucking bankroll, nigga? What the Bulls? What Dave Chappelle told the nigga on the World Series of Dice? He was like, "You want this bankroll, nigga?" That's what Turkey Al-Sheikh on. You want this bankroll, nigga? You gotta fight this nigga right here. You don't want it? All right, you just ain't getting paid. It is what it is. Said Turkey owned 13% of the zone. Really? $1 billion? They say he invested $1 billion in the zone. They only gave him 13%. Southwest Dice, salute. Let me see. Y'all saying Big Soldier said Al out of the picture. If Al out of the picture and take posting him talking about he loyal to him, he got to be in the picture somehow. Reeve said Charles Conwell might get the Fundora fight. I hope so. But like I said, I don't think that's going to be, like, that's possible. But I don't think Charles Conwell going to be Fundora's first option. That's just my opinion. I think that's in Fundora's eyes, that's a risky fight. You know what I mean? That he won't get much money out of. So he like, all right, I could get that same type of risky fight for a bigger bag. He'll go elsewhere. I don't think Charles Conwell no name. I just think that he a dangerous motherfucker. The zone just don't do boxing, and Turkey running the boxing portion. Okay, that's a great point. Yeah, Reef, I seen Bud put that, but Bud after that he shitted on Fundora and was like, yo, you had your chance, now you lost it, nigga. So I don't think his eyes is set on fighting Fundora. He about to lock in a fight with Canelo, from what I understand. So he like, man, I'm about to go fight Canelo. You had the chance to fight me. You lost your opportunity. I think that's what he was trying to get across. Yeah, I mean, I think he was trying to just shit on him. Like, that's what you get, nigga. Could have rumbled me. Chose to fight this nigga. It ain't even work out. None of the fights I've discussed has been official yet. Just all rumors. I haven't seen any official announcements. We just talking boxing, that's all. Not just Turkey got percentage in the zone, so does Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. That makes sense. You know, Eddie Hearn was the first one that really, started cooking up with the zone on some boxing shit. Anthony Joshua was like the first big name that they put on the zone, so that also makes sense. Maybe they signed that deal with the zone, and that shit probably came with stock or, ownership. I don't fucking know. We halfway done with January. February gonna be lit. Absolutely, that's gonna be the start to a great year of boxing. As soon as we hit February 1st. As soon as we hit February 1st, it's going to be all gas. But we're going to have some good fights at the end of January for real. That's probably going to be like the calm before the storm type shit. I mean, that Pacheco and Steven Nelson shit. I seen Steven Nelson sparring, and I seen the bull Coach Bernie and Bud in his corner. I'm like, that shit make me so nervous as a Pacheco fan, because I'm like, damn. Now, I don't know much about Coach Bernie, so I ain't about to sit here and act like I'm threatened by Coach Bernie. I think he a flunky for real, that like to talk shit on another nigga behalf. But having Bud in your corner, that's a dangerous sight. That's a dangerous sight. Pacheco and Berlanga should fight. Berlanga don't want that. Berlanga want to fight Gabe Rosado. Good luck with that shit. Or Berlanga might try to lock in that William Skull John, which I think he should win. He could win. For real. That's a good route to getting a world title. Then you could really get some big fights popping and really get to some money. Why not? If I'm Eddie Hearn, I'm pushing for that. I don't know why niggas not really looking in William Skull direction. That's a belt right there. But if it's just for the IBF, they gotta follow the rehydration clause, and Berlanga not gonna be with that shit. He ain't gonna like that. What he weighed like 193 for Canelo? He only gonna be able to rehydrate the 178? Shit, he gonna be a dead. He probably gonna be a dead man in that motherfucker. Said Canelo fighting Skull in May. That's possible. Berlanga was talking about it. Puerto Rico versus Puerto Rico. He was really flexing that shit. So you say you don't think he won it, but I think he do, just based off of how the way he talking. Berlanga has never shown me that he was adamant about fighting any top 168 guys. I've seen him talk shit to Plant. Never really heard him too optimistic about fighting Plant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen him, the only person I've seen him optimistic about fighting and really pushing for the fight was Canelo. That's it. And he successfully got around all the top guys to get the Canelo. If he didn't need them in the beginning, you think he gonna feel like he need them guys now? Ooh-wee. Turkey said if Bakoli gets past Ajagba, he gonna stop Ajagba, y'all. He gonna stop him. He might set up Bakoli versus AJ in Africa. Jesus Christ. He's gonna stop Ajagba, man. I don't see how Ajagba beats Bakoli, unless he just catches him with like a motherfucking perfect, because Ajagba got a strong ass right hand. Unless Ajagba just fucking ices him with a right hand, there's no way. Ajagba's slow, stiff, slow feet. The nigga like he a motherfucking tortoise in there, cuz. And Bakoli ain't like this motherfucking scientist in the ring neither, but Bakoli a lot more dangerous, bro. Offensively, he more well versed. He'll stop Ajagba, bro. Definitely stop. I think he'll steamrolling. And that's not me underestimating Ajagba. I just don't think he got what it takes based off of what I've seen. Yeah, Ajagba, I don't know, man. He got schooled by Frank Sanchez and then just disappeared. Remember, they was trying to build him up to be like this Wilder-esque type fighter, and I'm like, man, he ain't nothing like a prime Wilder, cuz. You want to see Zane versus Bakoli? Zane? Errol should fight Thurman even though he don't like him. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wish they would have fought each other at their peak, though, man. I would have loved to have seen that. Was Thurman when he had his high, he was a hell of a fighter, bro. Yeah, I want to see Bakoli. I want to see Bakoli get an opportunity, man. Let's get one more question before we get up out of here, man. I appreciate the 40 people that's in the building. Like I said, we hit that 2,500 mark, which I'm extremely, extremely grateful about, man. You feel what I'm saying? Let's get one more question. Let's get them likes up, and then we up out of there, man. What we talking about? Do I see Jared Anderson bouncing back into contention? I don't know, bro. I think Jared Anderson is very talented, very athletic, youthful. Could box. But I think there's a few things that makes me question Jared Anderson. The biggest thing is his mentality. Um, he said in several occasions that he doesn't really care for boxing and he only does it because, you know what I mean, the money and, you know, he don't really care to be world champion. So I question his mentality in that way, you know, and your mentality, if it ain't on point or it's not, you know, like seriously driven by, you know, things but outside of money, I have trouble believing in you. He also has some bad defensive tendencies that I think that against these bigger elite level heavyweights, he'll end up paying the price against. But Coley done already exposed, you know, the flaws in his defense. Um, he's showing that his chin could get cracked. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that Jared Anderson could be a good heavyweight, but being a champion at this current moment, I don't see it happening. Um, I don't really see him doing much at this point in time in the division. Like really think about it. How does Jared Anderson do against Usyk? We really got to talk about that. How does he do against? I mean, we already seen what happened with Bakoli. How will he do against Zhang? You know, how would he do against Kabiel? You know, how would he do against these guys? This is a serious question. I'm not being sarcastic. I don't think he beats any of them. I think he'll lose to that kid Moses, Atuma, whatever the fuck his name is. Would I debate KO? I already did. What we debating? Depends on what we debating. There's shit that I'm more passionate about than others. What we debating? I already done went on there, and y'all seen what I did to that, man. I ain't got to really talk about that. I got a lot of his subscribers off of that shit though. Charles Martin did expose Jared's, you know, defensive flaws. You know what I mean? Charles Martin just ain't have what it take to really capitalize off of it. Or he didn't do what it took to capitalize off of it. You know what I mean? But since then, I was like, you know what I mean? He got some tightening up to do, but I guess since he won, he felt like he ain't need to change shit. So that backfired on him, you know what I'm saying? This is Tank's tweet that he just put out like literally 1 minute ago. There's people talking about the whole Shakur and you know, shit like that. Let me see. Tank responds to, you know, whoever is having this conversation. He said they just talk to build their name up. When you really look at it, they haven't done shit. Every champ he fought, he sparred and he know their ins and outs. He sparred me before too, but he know for sure I'm nothing like these niggas. They all know. I don't really know what to make of that, bro. Like I don't really know what to make of that, bro. Like I'm just sick of having these conversations, cuz. I don't really know what to. So Shakur he's saying that Shakur, the niggas he fought, he done sparred them already, so he know they ins and outs. Yeah, nigga. So he beat him, so who cares? I don't know, bro. I don't even feel the need to keep speaking on this shit. Shakur sparred everybody, reason he a boogeyman. Anonymous with a great question. He says, do you think there will be any stands out at 140 anytime soon, or will those titles keep changing hands? That's such a fucking competitive division that it may very well just be a situation where there's a lot of changing hands. I don't think we really have a dominant figure in the 140-pound division yet. You know, it seemed like these dudes about to transition to 147, you know, speaking on, you know, Ryan, who's never technically fought at 40, you know, at a championship level. Devin and Tio. I'm sure if Tio's fighting Ryan, it's going to be a 147-pound contest. I don't know. I think the belt's going to be – they're going to keep changing hands, man, unless Hitchens just, you know, finds a way to, you know, completely dominate the division with the tools that he got. And the other guys not being present in the division. I don't know. That's a great fucking question. But one thing I can say is that there's no prominent face in the 140 division right now. Like, if we talking about Puello, all right, he a champion, but it's like, are we looking at him as a top dog? Not really. Hitchens, all right, he don't even got a title defense yet. You know, is he skilled? Yes. Do he look like the goods? Yes. But is he like the big dog at 40? He got some proving to do. Tio look like he don't really care for fighting any other guys at 140. He done turned down numerous fights. I forgot who the other champion is. It's Hitchens, Tio, Puello, and Rayo. Rayo defeated Pitbull Cruz. But it's like, is he the face of the division? No, I think there's a lot of people in the division that, not a lot, but there's a few people in the division that could beat him. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. PYP said, I'm hearing Pitbull versus Ryan next. I guess. I was hearing Ryan versus Tio. You know, Pitbull about to fight some nigga named Fierro. So, I don't know. Yeah, Pitbull was the weak link, for sure. Ryan fighting Pitbull at catch weight at 144. Let's hold off until this shit officially gets announced, man. Like, if we ain't hearing it from Turkey or Riyadh season or either of the fighters, let's hold off, man. I'm hearing a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I'm hearing a lot of shit. It's a lot of names being thrown in the mix. Devin's supposed to fight this dude. He's supposed to fight that dude. Ryan's supposed to fight this dude. Let this information come out, y'all. Let's not speculate right away. You know what I mean? But I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love to the channel, man. Like I said, we hit that 2,500 mark. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. If y'all new to the channel, please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe button. We do the real and knowledgeable boxing talk on a daily basis, so be on the lookout for that. I'm going to go get me some rest, man, and get ready for my Friday tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for my Friday. I got to get up real early, get my son ready, take him, drop him off, go to work, be there all day. You know what I mean? Hopefully get back in the gym because we still having them power outage issues. But regardless, this is Mazuma TV. Y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm out of here, man. Peace.